Okay, so this is the road into the Gila Wilderness cliff dwellings. It's actually down that way on the other side of this hill. But I wanted to show you this road has pretty massive drop-offs. On either side of the road. So that's a couple hundred feet down there to the river. That's the Gila River down there at the bottom. The Middle Fork and the West Fork met up about a mile back. So that's looking up the canyon I was at. Probably on that ridge at the other side. Not as far as that peak in the distance, but that ridge is about where I was this morning. And mountains all around. Purple Mountains majesty. Oh yeah. Caution. Use low gear. No kidding. Coming in yesterday, it was definitely use low gear. So the marker said that this vista is 7,440 feet. That's pretty dang high. The canyon down there at the bottom is 5,800 feet or so. So we're 1,500 feet up and then some. So it's quite beautiful here. I'm definitely coming back. I don't know when. I don't know if I'm going to be backpacking or just camping, but wow, this is the place. You might say it's my nature valley. So I just crossed the road here, and right off the side are some deer. Okay, folks, I left the National Forest. Oh, collar's flipped up. Excuse me, I left the National Monument. I'm in still the National Forest, a place called Sapio Campground. I guess the creek nearby here that makes Lake Roberts is called Sapio Creek. I wanted to get up and over that really rough road. I mean, it was a beautiful road, but it was a challenging road with all those hairpin turns and sheep dropped off. I wanted to get past that tonight so that I'm about an hour head start on tomorrow. As you see, I got a headlamp ready to go for tonight. Dinner is going to be my own creation, a shepherd's pie that I dehydrated. I browned some ground beef with some breadcrumbs. I dehydrated carrots and peas and corn. Frozen carrots, peas, and corn, that's the thing to do. And I have powdered cheesy potatoes, mashed potatoes. So what I'm going to do when I get a chance, after I get a water boiling, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to take out my desiccant and my oxygen packet, and I'm going to put the hot water into this, stir it, and see how it goes. I made this recipe at home. Used a pound of ground beef and 1 bag of peas, 1 bag of corn, 1 bag of carrots, frozen because they're already blanched. Dehydrated them, and 1 package of mashed potato mix. I divided it in half and reconstituted half of it for myself. Got about 4 meals out of it, so it was too much. So I divided it in half in half, but I added another bag of mashed potatoes. So I have more than, I've got about a half a bag and a quarter a bag packet of mashed potatoes in here. So I should have plenty of mashed potatoes this time. And it's going to take 15 minutes probably to get reconstituted. We'll see how it goes. Okay, got my stove set up on the ground. Oh look, my boots are still wet. They're going to come off here in a few minutes. I'm going to put my Crocs on with some more fuzzy socks. Not exactly sure how much this shepherd's pie is going to take water-wise, so I'm going to boil a lot of water. And I'm going to get it pretty hot too. And we're going to see how well it does. One of the things I've got also, a little trick up my sleeve, is I made a koozie so I can drop my, sorry about the view there. I think I used too strong Velcro here. But once I've ripped the bag. Exactly where I lost the video, but I bumped it somewhere. So I'm gonna put that bag with the stew into this bag here. So once I've poured my hot water in my stew bag and stirred it up, I'm gonna put it inside this homemade koozie reflective thing, and it'll get reconstituted better that way. At least that's the theory. Everybody on the internet does this sort of thing a lot, has their own little koozies. Usually they're homemade. I used Velcro on the top of mine, which probably a bad idea. What I need to do is remake it and make another one and put a flat top to it with a snap or something instead of the Velcro. The Velcro is just too hard to open and close, and I literally just tore it trying to open it. I damaged it. So this one, again, like a lot of this trip, it's just a trial and error to see if it works and what doesn't work. And conceptually, this should work for keeping the food hot longer so it reconstitutes better. But in practice, this model did not work. If you're not sure if the ground is level, put your pot of water on your stove and you'll see if your stove is level. It's pretty close. Close enough. While that's going, and I've still got some working daylight, I'm going to take these wet boots off and the wet socks and put on some, let them dry out pretty good, my feet that is, and then I will put some Gold Bond powder on my feet, make sure they're good and dry, and then put the fuzzy socks on, and then I'll walk around camp in the Crocs. I do have a pair of New Balance running shoes to put on tomorrow as I'm traveling again, and a whole new clean set of clothes when this ordeal is over, whatever that is. But since I didn't really do much today, and it was pretty dry, and even though I sweated a lot, I probably sweated most of it right into the atmosphere. I'm going to go ahead and keep these clothes on for another day at least, and hike around Cloudcroft in them if I'm going to Cloudcroft, which I think I'm going to do. And then when if I decide to do any more, I'll keep them on and change it the last day if I can find a shower. If not, I'll just drive home. Ugh, smelly. By the way, here's where I'm cooking. There's where I'm sleeping. I'm doing the hammock tonight. I do have my closed cell foam pad inside the hammock for insulation underneath me, and then the bedroll for on top. The black bag hanging is just what everything was stuffed in, with the pad and the bedrolls were in on my pack. So tomorrow morning, it's all just going in that bag, and the bag's just going to go throw in the trunk. I'm not repacking my pack anymore. I've given up on the backpacking portion of this trip. I'm done with that. I'm just going to be car camping for the rest of this trip probably. Okay, first boot is off. Wrung out my socks on the ground down there. And as you can see here, I do have a blister on my toe, as I suspected I would get on my toe. Otherwise, my feet are just kind of clammy. no heel spots. So I could have kept going as far as blisters are concerned. That toe one would have been an issue tomorrow maybe, but now it's not going to be a problem. Okay, because I thought this through, I opened up the shepherd's pie, took out my little pouches, and slid it into the koozie first because I'm smart. Okay, the water was just boiling a moment ago, so it's pretty darn hot. So I'm going to pour a fair amount in. If I end up with soup instead of pie, shepherd's pie, it is what it is. So here goes. I'm gonna have to set the phone down somewhere. Okay, so I made a phone stand. Let's see what's in view. That's in view there. Yes, okay. I'm not left-handed, but I'll do this left-handed anyway. What you do for the camera. That was almost 200 milliliters. Not exactly sure what that is in ounces, but it smells good already. It smells like shepherd's pie. Okay, get down in here with my spoon. I'm obviously going to need a lot more water. The head is cakey in there, but that's why I boiled so much. Okay, that's probably half a liter. I don't know if you can see in there. Anyway, I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, because I thought this through, I opened up the shepherd's pie, took out my little pouches, and slid it into the koozie first because I'm smart. Okay, the water was just boiling a moment ago, so it's pretty darn hot. So I'm going to pour a fair amount in. If I end up with soup instead of pie, shepherd's pie, it is what it is. So here goes. I'm gonna have to set the phone down somewhere. Okay, so I made a phone stand. Let's see what's in view. That's in view there. Yes, okay. I'm not left-handed, but I'll do this left-handed anyway. What you do for the camera. That was almost 200 milliliters. Not exactly sure what that is in ounces, but It smells good already. It smells like shepherd's pie. Okay, get down in here with my spoon. I'm obviously going to need a lot more water. The head is cakey in there, but that's why I boiled so much. Okay, that's probably half a liter. I don't know if you can see in there. Anyway, I'll let you know how it goes. So I got it in there stirred pretty good. Now I'm going to fold the top over in the bag, stuff it in there, and stuff the, or close the top of the koozie bag. Okay, so I got it in there stirred pretty good. Now I'm going to fold the top over in the bag, stuff it in there, and stuff the, or close the top of the koozie bag. While the stew steeps, I made myself some tea. So I'm going to stir up my tea bags here to get my tea ready. Got about 16 ounces of water left, so I'll put 4 tea bags in. Figure that's probably strong enough. Let that okay, we're looking at the dinner by headlamp now. While we were waiting for that to reconstitute, I took the liberty of checking my feet out. I made sure they were dry. They were almost completely dry. A little bit of moisture between your toes, but the Gold Bond medicated powder took care of that. And I got my fuzzy socks on. Not sure why it's not focusing. Ah, there we go. That I'm going to sleep in, obviously. And I got my long legs back on, my pants. Put those back on. So now I can check the food and see how it looks. And in case you're wondering what I'm sitting on, somebody took a chainsaw or something to this log that had fallen, made a bench out of it. It's more of a lounging bench because it's angled back, but it's serving my purpose. Okay, it looks like mashed potatoes in there. Now the question is, are the carrots look like they're maybe done? Are the peas and the carrots I'm not sure about. The corn looks done. I don't know about the peas and carrots. Let's take a spoonful out and look at this up close. Okay, so there you go, shepherd's pie. Okay, the carrots are a little rough, but they were in the homemade stuff too, because I didn't chop them up any smaller than they came in the bag, and I should have. And so to dry them out, it almost made them really rubbery, and so they're just chewy. Might stick I don't need more water because I made tea out of it. I could let it sit for a little longer. I'll just put air temperature water in it. Not a lot, because I don't want the potatoes to be too mushy. It's already starting to cool off pretty much, so I'd probably waste my time doing this. So I'll just eat as is. Well, that's a two-handed job, so you guys got to go to sleep.